Jordan had never worked a night shift before. When he accepted the job at Hill Ridge Grand Hotel, he didn't expect his first assignment to be so isolating. The hotel, a towering relic from the early 20th century, stood at the edge of a sleepy mountain town like a forgotten monument. Its grand lobby with velvet curtains and creaky chandeliers hinted at a time when the place was elegant and alive. Now, most of the rooms remained unoccupied. Guests were rare. Maintenance was minimal, and the night staff, just one person. The silence of the building pressed in from all sides. Every sound was amplified, the hum of old pipes, the occasional rattle of a window pane, and the low moan of the wind slipping through unseen cracks. At first, Jordan tried to keep busy. He wiped down the already clean counter, organized room keys, and skimmed the dusty guest logbook. But within an hour, boredom set in. His only companions were the security monitors on the desk in front of him, each showing a different part of the hotel, the empty hallways, the elevator shaft, the dim stairwell. He poured himself a coffee and leaned back in the worn leather chair. The floor creaked beneath him, responding like an old man stretching his bones. The overhead lights flickered, as they often did, probably faulty wiring, he told himself. The hotel's age seemed to echo in every detail: the heavy furniture, the peeling wallpaper in the far corners, even the scent in the air, like mildew, mixed with antique wood, felt unchanged by time. He glanced at the guest book again. Only 2 names. Both had checked in earlier that afternoon. Rooms 204 and 405. He hadn't seen either of them. In fact, since he arrived for duty at 11 p.m., he hadn't seen a soul. No movement. No sounds from the upper floors. It was like the hotel had swallowed everyone whole. A distant creak came from somewhere above. Maybe a guest walking to the vending machine. He looked up, but the ceiling was still. The monitor for the second-floor hallway buzzed faintly, static, then it cleared. Nothing there. Jordan reached for the old walkie-talkie beside the desk, unsure if anyone else was even. Tuned in, the chill in the room felt unnatural. Almost like the air was watching him at exactly 2:13 a.m. The screen for hallway cam 3 flickered. Just a brief crackle of static, at first nothing unusual. The hotel system was ancient, full of glitches and hiccups. Jordan leaned forward, tapping the side of the monitor out of habit. The image stabilized, but something was different now. Someone was standing at the far end of the hallway. He froze. The figure wasn't moving, just standing still, half-shrouded. In shadow, directly beneath the dim light near room 312. There was no clear detail, no face, no clothing, no sign of expression. Just the silhouette of a person, motionless, facing the camera, watching. Jordan blinked, rubbed his eyes, and leaned closer. The feed was live. There was no one checked into room 312. He double-checked the guest list, only 2 people in the hotel, and neither was on the 3rd floor. He hesitated before reaching for the intercom system. Dead silence. No buzz, no tone, nothing. The connection was out. His stomach dropped. The hallway remained unchanged on the screen. The figure still stood there, unmoving. No shifting, no blinking lights, just that dark shape at the end of a long, silent corridor. He looked at the time again, 2:16 a.m. Had 3 minutes already passed. Without warning, the screen glitched again, just for a second. When it returned, the figure was gone. The hallway was empty. Jordan stared at the monitor, heart pounding. In his chest. He rewound the footage slightly, watching the feed closely. The moment of distortion offered no answers, no footsteps, no exit, no indication the figure had left. It simply wasn't there anymore. It had vanished. Jordan couldn't shake the image from the hallway camera. Room 312. That's where the figure had been standing. Something about that number stuck in his mind. He checked the registry again. No guest was listed for that room. The keycard hadn't been used in days. Still, he felt pulled to it like something was waiting. He grabbed the old flashlight from beneath the desk, its weight cold in his hand. The staircase creaked under his steps as he ascended to the third floor. The air grew colder the higher. He climbed. When he reached the hallway, the silence was oppressive. Every step he took was swallowed by thick carpet and an unnatural stillness. Room 312 stood at the far end, exactly where the figure had been. The corridor lights buzzed faintly overhead, some flickering with a dying glow. As he walked closer, he noticed something that made his skin crawl. The door was slightly open, just enough to reveal darkness beyond, like a mouth waiting to speak. No reason for it to be open. It should have been locked, undisturbed. The keycard panel beside the handle blinked red unaccessed, yet the door had clearly been moved. Jordan approached slowly, flashlight pointed at the crack. The beam barely pierced the darkness, hitting only the edge of a dresser and what looked like an overturned chair. A faint smell hit him stale, wet and metallic. The kind of scent that made you think of something rotting behind a wall. His hand hovered near the door, tempted to push it wider. He hesitated. There was no sound inside, but the silence felt heavy, unnatural, like it was holding its breath. The number 312 on the doorplate looked worn, scratched at its corners, as if someone or something had clawed at it over time. As Jordan backed away from room 312, something behind him echoed through the silence, a dull metallic clunk, the kind of sound that makes your stomach drop before your brain even registers. He turned sharply toward the elevator at the end of the hallway. Its doors were shut, its floor indicators still on the ground level. He hadn't seen it move. No one had called it. The hotel was supposed to be empty. Aside from the two guests. Then came the ding. The elevator chimed softly, followed by the mechanical groan of cables pulling. The floor numbers slowly climbed 1, 2, 3. The lights above flickered as the elevator doors slid open in front of him. Empty. Jordan stared at it, heart pounding against his ribs. No footsteps had preceded its arrival. No sound of buttons being pressed. He hadn't pushed anything. And yet, the elevator stood there, open, as if waiting for him. He shined his flashlight into the car. Nothing. Just faded linoleum, flooring, and a flickering ceiling panel. Still, something felt wrong. The kind of wrong you couldn't explain. The kind that made your instincts scream without evidence. He stepped forward cautiously, half expecting someone to lunge out from the shadows. But there was no one. Then he saw it, the glowing red light on the elevator panel. Floor 3 had been called, not from below. From the inside, someone or something had pressed it. The doors began to close, slow and quiet, like the machine was deciding what to do next. Jordan took a step back, eyes locked on the narrowing gap between the doors. Just before they shut completely, he thought he saw something in the reflection, a blur, just behind him in the polished interior wall of the elevator. Something standing where he had just been, watching, motionless. Jordan bolted down the hallway, back to the lobby, his footsteps muffled by the thick carpet but loud in his ears. His breath came quick, each inhale sharp and shallow. He didn't stop until he was behind the front desk again, gripping the edge like it could anchor him to reality. The cameras were still running, each monitor showing a different hallway. But now they weren't empty. Every single screen showed the same figure. In each hallway, in every camera angle. The same shadowy silhouette standing at the far end. Unmoving, always facing the lens, always watching. Jordan's hands trembled as he adjusted the monitors, switching between floors. It didn't matter which one he clicked. The figure was always there, sometimes slightly closer, sometimes dead center, but always present, The hair on the back of his neck prickled. He didn't want to turn around. He was afraid to. But the air behind him felt heavy, charged, like someone or something was standing far too close, breathing. He glanced at the ornate mirror mounted behind the desk. It was old, the glass slightly warped, framed with blackened bronze. At first, all he saw was his own reflection, wide-eyed, pale, drenched in sweat. But then he saw it, a shape behind him. Vague, dark, not visible in the room itself, only in. The mirror dotted stood inches from his back. No features, no eyes, but he could feel it studying him. Like it had always been there. Like it had never left. Jordan spun around, but there was nothing. He turned back to the mirror. The figure remained, closer. Now,